first.
Oh.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, call to order. And close the meeting.
Yeah, I didn't say the meeting is on.
I couldn't find this again either. Oh.
Okay. Right. Meeting commenced 5:38. First item, review and approve minutes from the last meeting.
I had, do I say up for discussion? I don't know, really.
Please, if there are,
Yeah.
Up for
if there are
discussion.
edits for it, yeah, go for it.
Motion to approve.
Motion, oh, okay, motion to
Yes.
approve. So,
Or to
one-
discuss.
motion to discuss, okay.
Yep.
The item where it says review draft letters to local institutions, down the bottom, it was also decided the committee would draft a letter to the owners of the Evergreen Cemetery. Was I supposed to do that?
I
Was
thought
that
that was
me?
something that we had decided
Okay, so
to
that
add.
was me.
But there was,
Okay.
I remember also a discussion then on who actually owned Evergreen Cemetery, and I know it's, the town owns it, but it's in the care of someone else, and I couldn't remember who or if we
Okay,
knew, so that was,
okay,
we
so
definitely
that's my
discussed
bad.
it, but I wasn't sure if we,
Okay, so that's my bad. So
No
what
worries.
I'll do is instead of, it was also decided the committee would draft a letter, I'll do it.
Right.
I'll draft a letter and I'll look up who,
What we-
okay.
And on the basis of of our previous drafted
Of the-
letters.
Yes,
Right.
and,
Do you know who you're sending it to?
well, that's what I have to look up. That's what I have to look up, who, who is, so it's owned by the town, but under the auspices of,
I think that's what we figured out last time.
all right, so I'll look that up. So when I saw that, I thought, ooh, was the committee going to write a letter, or was that me? So that was my only addendum, so I will do that, that was my bad. Otherwise, I move to approve the minutes.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. The next item is the proposed questionnaire to send around to all the neighbours, of which everyone should have a copy.
Here, if not, I've got copies for everyone.
If I pass them on.
Yes, I have those.
Oh, sorry, did I have the wrong thing?
Frequently
That's all right.
asked,
That's all right.
I have a copy of it.
Right. Now, you've drafted this following the lines of the Massachusetts Historic Commission, yep, roughly.
Roughly, yeah,
With-
it's been tweaked.
Yeah.
I think we have a question from the audience.
Do you have additional copies?
You can have
Yep.
this,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
So this is what we had posited is potentially the first of two surveys. This being the more general one about Newbury and local historic districts, as well as getting some feedback from neighbors and locals on what, input on what would be excluded from the LHD, what things would not be reviewed, and then just to try and page a little bit more information on how we can better then disseminate information and how we can answer questions that the community might have. And then the second survey, which would come later down the road, would be more specific on certain items that potentially would be included, what would be for review. But that is, when later, if the bylaws become written. So, open for discussion. I tried to make it as neutral as possible. I really didn't want to lead towards any general conclusion, but I am certainly open to suggestions and changes on wording or questions.
One question.
Yeah.
But did we ever resolve the solar panel issue? I remember getting something from Mass Historical, but...
So that's something that would be a specific concern. Actually, we had discussions about this with the FAQ, which I'll let Madison kind of focus on or address, but because it's not just solar panels that really come under the purview of energy efficiency, we thought that we might actually draft an entirely other separate sheet to go on our website about energy efficiency measures, because at least I find in communities that historic preservation is looked as an adversary to environmentally friendly measures or to energy efficiency, and that's not true. Right? They very much should be working on the same plane towards the same goal. So instead of just focusing on solar panels, what if we were to posit a similar FAQ sheet that we focus on, but just about things like solar panels, double paned windows and doors, heat pumps, and other things like that.
Yeah.
That are often posited from Mass Save and other such sources as being really good for energy efficiency.
Yeah.
So that's not on this specific questionnaire, but do you think it should be?
I think we should recognize it. I mean,
Yeah.
what if the town decides to put the solar panels on the Lower Green?
Oh,
For some reason.
Hadn't thought
For
about
some
that.
reason. I
Like
think.
ground mounted solar panels?
ouch.
Just on ground mounted, yeah. So put an array out there.
I didn't think that.
I mean, I doubt it's gonna happen, but I'm just, solar panels, so that
Well,
could
what if
happen on a
owners-
historic property too.
what if owners wanted to?
Not just on the roofs, on any,
Or what if,
within the viewscape of the Lower Green, I guess is the question.
and indeed, what if...
Or
owners
maybe
do
even
as well?
scenic.
So
I don't know.
it's definitely going to be a question. I don't think that's maybe something we would want to answer right now, but it would be really good to know, generally what people need.
I just seem to remember
what
something
neighbors
coming out
wanted
from,
to.
Yeah.
Right.
something coming out from Mass Historical, something on solar panels, right? It was
So
reading.
a certain one, and I think we brought this up last time, but by law, we're not allowed to say no solar panels. That's in the Massachusetts law, is you have to at least, it has to be allowable, but there can be certain regulations in terms of you don't put them maybe on the front slope of the front of the house that faces the road, right? But putting it on the back slopes or all barns or other buildings or ground mounted. But yeah.
So if we had something that had to do with view, that would stop the town from putting solar panels on the Lower Green. I mean, I'm just using that as an example.
Well, I think we
Because they'd be in view.
I think that we'd have to be careful about saying that it would stop it, because this process isn't about stopping anything.
Yeah.
It's just about allowing the community to review it.
Okay.
And one thing that you guys, I don't know if you're on the Mass Listserv.
No.
Okay, I know Janet, because she posts there with regularity, but there's been a discussion recently amongst a lot of different towns and municipalities, specifically around solar panels. And it's one of those things where I think preservation has to shift a bit, because it's kind of the bigger question involved, whether, okay, it's a compromise, right? All right, specifically with ground mounted solar arrays. I've got a number of houses in our easement program that do have ground mounted solar arrays. A number of them are visible from the public way, but one of my owners just recently went back to their LHD and tried to get another panel in a different position, and they were shut down because the neighbors didn't want to look at it. But they already have one on their property. I was completely fine with it. We wanted them to go ahead with it because we have to kind of surmount that boundary of being new, and so therefore not okay, because that puts us as preservationists against energy efficiency. And that's not a very sustainable position in this day and age.
And in regards to the questionnaire, so the one that Ellie has drafted is very, it's
General.
pretty generalized.
Yeah.
Just generally kind of testing the water and seeing how folks feel. I suggest that if things do come back positive and we choose to go forward, putting forward a secondary survey that would be a little bit more specific and would give the community the ability to kind of vote on what they think is important for the review process. So we want everyone to be involved in that. So I do have an example which I can show to you folks from another study committee. Would anybody like one? So this is certainly not ours, it's just an example of one that would allow the community to make those, you know, comments and suggestions and be part of the process for
Do you
choosing
have
what
another,
Yeah.
an extra?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's always ready.
I know, I'm impressed.
And this is from.
This is from Stowe, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
So just an example, but it's something that I think we need the public's opinion on things, what they feel is important. I think we need that feedback before we can make any suggestions in our study report.
I think we're just a, you know, fact-finding. I like the idea of it being, of the questionnaire, the first questionnaire being very general.
Yeah.
And then more specific with more feedback from property owners and concerned citizens and, you know, if trustees or Greenbelt or sons and daughters or, you know, if other people in the community have more input, then we can get more specific as we go along. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I also think that this questionnaire is a great opportunity to just spread the word about this LHD and the study committee, right? Because at this point we've had no direct contact with the community at large. I think that's something we need to remedy.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of, you know,
Big time.
yeah, right, is saying, all right, well, here's what we're trying to do, here's how we're trying to do it. I think we need to come up with a time frame, not an exact one, but I do think that it's important to, when we talk to neighbors and community members, to say, this is potentially the town meeting that we're going for. So that it's like a fixed amount of time. It's not now till forever.
Yeah, let's
It's-
do this.
It's like
Yeah.
maybe fall of next year.
Okay.
Even if it's that long, it gives us like a set kind of, and this is something that I eventually figure out how to add this to the website. I've had a little bit of problems communicating with IT, so I'm going to take Jen up on her offer to help me add stuff to our website that I can't figure out to then have it on our front page of, here are the steps, here's what we're at in the process, and here's kind of our end goal. And that's shifting, right? That can shift. But correct me, can you tell me how often the town meetings are and when they are, roughly?
Once a year in May.
All right, thank you. Cool, totally was wrong. Thank you.
Unless there's a special circumstance. Sometimes there are, there have been ones, yeah, like in the summertime, I think we had one a couple of years.
October, November.
October, yeah.
So is the one
But
that happened this year, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's
All right.
usually in May.
Last one
once
was,
a year.
I think, April 25th.
Oh, okay, all right. So,
Oh, yeah, the election is in May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
April, okay.
Yeah, I think it would be great to have a goal, but also if we do not feel like we have all the information, I don't think we have to stay stuck on that. But I think it's good to have a goal and to put that out to the public so they know.
Okay, when do we want to get this out by?
As soon as possible.
And in conjunction with the proposed sort of formal discussion group, it would be quite good for people to have had it before.
Are you talking about the schoolhouse
Yeah.
possible meeting?
Yeah.
So
because,
I agree.
because to come to that and then suddenly get something through the mail or however, whatever medium you're going to communicate.
So my goal is to have 4 mediums with which we could communicate this and in general. I would like to put it on our website, and now that we have an email, they could email in the form, if that's the easiest thing to do. I think that mailing it to all people in the proposed district is a necessity. We need to communicate that directly to them, whether or not they respond with it, but at least then they have it. I think that any event that we are at as a committee or that we put on like this, like at the school, we should just have copies of these there.
Yep.
And then last time, I think, Lon, we floated the idea of putting it in the newspaper.
Yeah.
If that's still an option, I would really like for us to write an article for the newspaper, if that's at all possible. I'm kind of, again, just announcing who we are, what we're doing, and answer some of those kind of first questions about what is an LHD, what is a study committee, what do we do? And then we can have that QR code that we talked about for this.
In that vein, would you please read off the address where citizens can send the letters and also the email address? What are you laughing at?
It's in my email somewhere, I have to find
Oh,
it.
oh
It's
my
not
gosh,
the tip
yeah.
of my tongue.
Nothing like putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
You know what? Wait a minute, I have it.
No, it has got a address.
I actually have it.
You do?
I do.
We do
I
have a
just thought of
PO,
that.
I thought we had a mailbox downstairs.
So,
Is
it's,
it Julie's mailbox?
so,
She
yeah,
just sent it.
yeah, she said that she'd send it to us. Okay, so I'm gonna look in the camera for this. Okay, so if you would like to, no, I need this. If you would like to communicate directly with the committee, we are the Lower Green Historic District Study Committee, care of Town Hall, 12 Kent Way, Suite 200, Byfield, Mass. 01922. And our email for the committee is LHD, as in David, LHDS Committee. So that's Lower Historic District Study Committee. LHDSC.
Oh, yeah, done that, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so LHDS Committee at townofnewbury.org. I'm sorry that wasn't very smooth. Let me read that again. LHDS Committee at townofnewbury.org. And that's how you can communicate directly with the committee. Thank you. Oh, this is mine, isn't it?
And that goes to Robin as our chair, that email.
Yeah, it goes to Robin and then he disseminates.
Should we send you comments on the,
Do you have
survey?
comments on them? Please.
Okay.
If there's any,
Yeah.
do you have any to discuss, like?
Well, I could give you a couple here. About 3/4 of the way down, would you support the formation of a local historic district to protect the Lower Green? And I'm wondering if that should be protect the historic character of the Lower Green. Because that's really what we're doing. We're protecting the green too, so the town can put a housing development on it. But just, anyway, that's one comment. When they get this, will they get this too?
Sir, what are you holding up?
The FAQs.
The facts.
That's a great idea.
The reason I'm asking is the bottom paragraph leads me to believe that all we're concerned about is the buildings. In reality, if you read the number 1, 2, and 3 up here in the beginning of the other one, maintain and improve settings of those buildings and places is included, and encourage, well, the new designs. But then number 2 is the one that I'm getting at, I guess.
Of the FAQ sheet.
That's
Yeah,
a great idea.
but this is giving the impression that it's only the buildings that we're protecting, and it's not. It's just
Sorry,
this, the survey.
the questionnaire, okay.
The
thank
survey
you.
only
The
has
FAQs.
things like window jams,
FAQs.
paint color,
He's talking about the survey. right?
storm windows, yeah, the survey.
Yeah, so with the survey
What should be
goes
exempt?
the FAQs.
Okay, I mean, we can, yes, I think it's a great idea. to put
Yeah,
the
you can't
FAQs.
put a Ferris wheel, Robin can't put a Ferris wheel in his yard. Or something, I mean, well, it certainly changes the historic character.
No, it does.
Unless they're hand carved
So these were just the examples that were on the MHC
Yeah.
example thing, but if we want to put in an example that kind of speaks to landscape or character, we certainly can to kind
Well,
of,
yeah, let's, like,
broaden
again,
the
it's like the historic character, and here talking about maintain, or the buildings and the settings of those buildings and places. I think, as defined in this. Somehow give the, so we're not just protecting the house.
okay,
And
there,
that's why I brought up solar panels too.
The
I mean, that brings
Because
to
they're
mind
putting up-
for me houses primarily
Landscape?
too. But landscape is in
Is that
general
too general?
exempt.
Landscape or viewscape. Landscaping, you
Landscape
could
is-
exempt.
yeah, it is.
No, I mean
We shouldn't be
historic
controlling what plants you
landscape,
can
but,
put in.
yeah, no, that's
But, I
not
mean, I
what-
can add that typical exemptions are for paint color, storm windows.
12-foot wall in front of your historic house won't cut it.
Well, that's not landscape.
Because that's what happened in Raleigh, and they made the guy take it down.
That's hardscape.
Yeah.
That's an additional structure, but,
No, but it changes the, it changes the setting of those buildings and places.
So what if I just put landscaping in? Typical
Um,
exemptions
As long
are
as
for
people don't
paint
think
color,
it's
storm
plants.
windows, doors, satellite dishes, landscaping, etc.
If you,
Yeah.
if you say et cetera, then that's
I
kind
guess
of,
et cetera would be okay.
it
Anyway, anything that's not connected with the house
that
is
seems
good.
kind of broad.
So
It's,
landscaping is probably okay if you put et cetera.
It is only a survey, isn't
yeah, it's only a survey, yeah.
It's only a
Yeah.
survey.
We're splitting
But again,
hairs over
we-
something,
it?
yeah.
The other thing is.
We don't want people thinking just houses.
Right.
Okay.
It says neighbour opinion survey, whether you live in the,
And
to what extent do you have to live in the town of Newbury? I'm just, because there's no name, you can't, we can't check off who's,
No, I wanted it to be anonymous
it is,
for,
Right.
yeah.
I'm
your
just,
last question says, do you want any additional information, yes or no? And I think you should say, if yes, provide contact information. But otherwise, what if they say yes? Okay.
Well, if they,
You can't do
okay.
anything about it. If
My
you
last
say,
question.
if you've answered yes, please include contact information. We don't have to have their name, but their email address would
We
be
have their email
sufficient.
address, we have their name. Maybe it would be, what if instead we put kind of a, what kind of information would you like to know? That maybe we could then add it to our website, we're not, because we don't have an emailing list, or we,
Is, is there more information, that we
Definitely
can
our
provide,
email.
or?
What about
yeah.
the-
Or
Our email.
if yes,
Yeah,
go-
good.
if yes, go to our website.
and put our email address, you can ask for the questions.
Oh, there you go, so they can
Yeah, that way
contact us.
we don't,
Better.
they don't have to give us
Better.
theirs, but
Yeah.
we give us
There you
theirs.
go, okay.
Yeah, all right, add
That's-
ours. That, I
that's all
should
I
have
got
known
on
anyway. Our contact
okay,
information.
that,
Yeah, then I don't have to give you this, you just heard them all.
Yeah, add our contact information to last Q. Okay. But Robin, to your point, that does kind of beg the question, who all are we sending this to via mail?
right, that's
Yeah.
where I was heading, is because, it's not just the people who live around the green, it's a lot of people use the green who come from slightly further afield and will have an opinion.
Is this something that we could put in our newspaper article and have the survey on our website, so if people would like to be involved in the process and take the
Yeah.
survey, please go to our website and
Didn't we talk about a scan code?
QR code.
QR code.
Yeah,
Maybe we can take out neighbor and just keep opinion survey?
at the top.
Oh, this
right?
is the proposed lower, I'm back to the
At the top.
survey question,
Yeah,
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 at the
okay.
top.
Yep. Opinion survey?
Proposed Lower Green Local Historic District Opinion Survey.
or
I don't
community.
think there needs to be a,
Community opinion survey?
Yes, because the word neighbour implies.
well, I would just say opinion survey.
Well, I think in the survey by definition is an opinion,
Yes. That's true.
so do we both those words?
May I make a
Just survey.
suggestion?
Sure. Yes, please.
A Newbury citizen survey
Perfect. Did you say every citizen survey?
Newbury.
That makes
pertains,
sense.
the lower green does pertain
Yeah.
to the entire community.
I like that.
Instead
Yeah,
of
and
just
it's
a
the
neighborhood.
entire community
Yep.
that's gonna vote on it, you know,
That's
should it,
Yeah,
when,
That's true.
you know, should we bring it before, so that's very,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry to keep interrupting.
No, please do.
My name's Leslie Matthews. I'm one of the
Oh.
new members of the select board.
Yes, welcome.
So I'm here to just be involved in what you guys are doing.
thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'd like
Congratulations.
to have some people.
Thank you.
Okay, now, are you gonna read it?
yeah.
I'm conscious that we get this out, so you don't have to rehash it for the next meeting, as we
Yeah.
do it now. So-
Provided I can figure out how to put it on our website, I
Okay.
can get it up next week.
And then do we also want to mail it to direct neighbors?
Oh, I see. I mean,
Just so that
Yes.
there's every possible
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
of contacting,
Yeah.
just in case they don't read the newspaper.
or
go on the
or
website.
get
Go
on the website. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we do that?
Well, if everyone's,
We, no, I know, printing,
oh,
mailing,
I understand.
logistics.
I have a fun suggestion for you, because I was a write-in candidate, that we came up with paper information, and then I purchased bags that you could hang on people's doorknobs or their mailboxes, and then they would see them and you wouldn't have to invest into like postage, and they would have hard copies of everything. And I will go back and see if I have any left over of the mailers, the plastic bags, and if you wish, I would love to be able to donate them to you.
Wonderful,
Thank
good, yay, donations
Thank
always
you very
welcome.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could go up and down High Road, back and forth Cottage and Newman Road, and that's really the places that are
The
gonna be
core.
impacted. And then you've got the trustees, and you've got Greenbelt, and you've got the old little house.
Yeah, historic New
right.
England.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should get them involved somehow.
I don't really
yeah.
think we need to know anything. I'll just pick her
So,
up.
anyway, but those are easy to look up. And then for the rest of them, there you go, everybody's got a doorknob.
And it was a stolen idea that I found from National Grid, that they had provided neighborhoods with their new updated information, and I looked at it and I said,
Oh,
that's,
ding, ding, ding,
that's,
yeah.
yeah, that's easy. So,
Okay.
Don't put it in
and
the
I don't
mailbox.
see, I don't
Don't
foresee
put it in
using
the
them
mailbox.
again.
Yeah. Can't touch those.
Right. Okay. So you.
Yeah, Jan.
I like the QR code though too. Put an article in the newspaper, put it in something on the website, and with a QR code, they flash into it and this pops up.
With regards to an article, is that something someone here would be willing to write? Kind of
That's
an intro to local historic districts and us for the issue?
I'll do it.
Everybody wants to.
Or
Is somebody going
you and I
to
can
do
sit
it?
together if you want. You and I, we'll have a beer some night.
Wonderful, because that would also be something I think we should get out as sooner rather than later.
Okay.
And
QR
I will-
code really, I did that Merrimack River survey and we put a QR code out and it's
Yeah,
just
that's
amazing.
accessible. Yeah, it's
Just-
much
just-
more accessible.
We were gonna walk around with pads and ask people questions, and all of our interns said, no, you put a QR code on it. They got their computer, they go like this and they take it when they're at home.
Yeah.
That's-
The other,
Right.
do any of you guys know, I should know this, I can figure this out really quick. Does Newbury have social media?
It's kind of, what is it, the Friendly People of Newbury or something like that?
The town does have a Facebook
Facebook
site.
page.
It might be worth seeing if we could make a post on there also with the QR code or a link to the
Yeah.
survey.
Take advantage of the town website as well.
Yes, we have a page on the town website.
Okay.
Are you on Facebook?
Um,
I'm not on
No.
Facebook, so
or Twitter.
I'm on
or-
Facebook, yeah.
you're
We
on
could-
Facebook?
We could also go to the select board meeting and just get up, say 2 words and have the QR code too.
Yeah.
That would be really easy.
Okay, yeah.
We're doing this, a townwide survey. It's available for anybody.
So one thing that I don't feel comfortable about is when we say we'll do it, that means nobody's going to do it.
I'll
So
do it.
I would like to assign that to somebody, you know
Lon.
what I mean? Okay, so Lon will do it.
And then we'll talk to the select board if everybody thinks that's a good idea.
I move that Lon talks to the select board at a select board meeting.
Okay, because a lot of people watch the videos.
Right.
And could we, if you have any talking points, could we just kind of just send them on before we?
Yeah, good idea, yeah, of
Just-
course.
Just that we all know what's being
Yeah,
said.
so we'll send you some talking points.
Oh, well, sure,
Or you can
go
write
ahead.
that we want you to send.
Do that, yeah. Send it to me and I'll
Okay.
put something together and before
Yeah,
I do it, I'll give everybody a draft or outline or something.
Yeah, that's good. So the Facebook page, Ellie, you're on Facebook?
yep, I can do that. I mean,
Now,
when I
would you do it under the auspices of
Oh, the
you,
No,
or,
no, the hope would be the town of Newbury would post it
okay,
and it would on their page. So
Okay,
I
I
will try
see.
and figure out who is in charge of that
Okay,
page
I
and
see.
get them to do that.
good,
Or-
thank you.
Send them the words. Okay.
So I will write the article for the paper, yes?
Okay.
Okay. Lon will go to the select board,
And I'll write an outline of what I'm gonna say.
an outline. Ellie will contact the town to get on the town's Facebook page.
Mhm.
Okay.
Give that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. So
Or did you already?
timeline for the questionnaire, when you've done all that, what do you think? Give us some idea.
Yeah, I can, hopefully I can get it on the website by the end of next week. And that is just going to be determined on if I can get a hold of Jan and her schedule to help me do that. I have her contact information, which is good. But yeah, it's not super, I can do the minutes and the agendas, post those easily, but beyond that, it's not clear. So I will do that, yeah, next week, by the end of the week.
How long are you going to leave it up? 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Oh, I think we should leave it up for a while.
I
Okay.
think we should leave it up through the whole
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
so people,
It might be interesting to sample, I mean, download what we have.
Yeah.
And just see where things are heading, and then also you won't have to do that all at the end.
Yeah,
You'll
Yeah,
have,
and
you'll
it-
have
and it's a-
whatever you've done will already be analyzed.
it's a working
Yeah.
process, right? So as you get input, it's good to utilize that input. So yeah, okay,
Okay,
by the end of next week.
so, because that's something I want to tell,
Yeah,
I
okay.
would say at the select meeting. It'll be up for 4 weeks or whatever.
I think we're gonna be talking months. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. There's no reason necessarily to take it down at this stage.
No,
Well, at some point, you gotta say we've done it.
Closed.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's over,
well, yeah, but that's
so
not
that
gonna be
you
for
can draw
like
conclusions.
a couple of years or
Do you
something.
put responses
Right.
by?
When do we need the information, is the question.
Yeah, do you want to put?
If we need it in 4 weeks, several months won't work.
We definitely don't, because we're not gonna have another meeting in 4 weeks.
Right.
We'll,
and
We're
I
not?
think we need enough time to
Well,
get this
maybe
out
one.
to everyone that we can. You know, I don't
Yeah.
want too small a sampling that would skew how we interpret it. And I think we need a fair amount of time to get
So-
all of the information.
Ellie, are you saying you're gonna put the survey on the Facebook page? Is that what you're saying?
a link to it.
Oh, a link to it, I
But
see,
yeah,
okay.
similarly to Lunch
Okay, I
talking
see what
points,
you
it would
mean.
be like a short little snippet of who we
I
are,
see.
what we're doing, and if you would like to be involved,
Okay,
Push
here's
this
the
button,
survey
boom.
that,
okay,
Survey Monkey something.
Yeah. Survey Monkey's neat because you can do quick looks anytime you want.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's it, okay, so. Let me finish
Right.
this writing and then I have a question. What's for next week? I had a couple questions because I think that we should be more proactive in terms of community engagement besides just our meeting that we do here, like our schoolhouse meeting. But
Yeah.
are there Newbury events that are happening in the
Yes.
next few months that we can be at to
Yes.
answer questions and to be involved and to ask people to be involved?
There's Newbury Day,
Okay,
and that's August 26th. And I was thinking, we can have a table next to the schoolhouse,
Yeah.
which, is,
Yeah.
that's the right place for it,
Which
right?
is-
No, I think that's a great place for
It is on
it.
the green this year.
There'll
It is on the
there'll
green,
there'll be
yeah.
events on the green, so.
okay.
Well, events on the lower green and also at the historic, at Spencer Pierce Little, that's kind of the focal point, isn't it?
I think that's where
SPR.
a lot of the parking's gonna be and a fair amount of
Yeah.
the programming, so.
So, I'd be happy to sit at one of the tables.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not a good fit for you because that's,
Unfortunately,
that's
I will be
your
busy that
event,
day,
so
yeah.
that's like not good for you, but, I'd be happy to man one of the tables.
Sure.
I
can be in contact with.
I'll be in Maine, so I can't do anything on that. But
Okay.
again, like I was last year.
Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna be out of the country, so.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, I'll do the table.
Okay, so you can, so
We'll,
we'll,
But I will,
Yeah.
okay.
all right,
I'll be in contact with the Newbury Town Day Committee, just to let them know that we'd like to be involved and there.
great.
Is there any, I don't know, 4th of July events or old house, old home week? I don't know if you guys do that.
Oh, no, we don't.
It's not a thing down here, sorry. It's
One
one of my favorite weeks in my
It's
town.
more, that's more,
yeah.
yeah,
That's Newburyport.
that's Newburyport,
Oh.
it's not us, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think this is plenty to get us going.
I know, yeah.
Well, it's just that if we're talking about an end date for the survey, I was just wondering if there would be like a nice way to disseminate it a bit more in person before we kind of close it. Yeah, or we could host
What-
another
Additional-
maybe event or meeting,
think,
like informational meeting.
Exactly what I'm
Separate.
going to come on when we come on to that item. I think we
Okay,
probably
more than
will
one.
do, yeah.
Maybe it's something that we
I've got
can
an
put together
A-frame.
with
We
when
can
the
print
schoolhouse is open.
sign, you can sit that next to the table.
For they
School.
open for
Public tours.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
right. All right, so, and which segues straight through to the first information discussion, which we now have permission to use the Lower Green Schoolhouse thanks to the Historic Commission, and we just have to tell them the date.
We want it
So-
to be as widely attended as possible.
Right.
So maybe not a weeknight.
Yeah, not a weeknight. And, should we go for Newbury Day, or is that not really?
I was hoping before then.
Yeah,
Oh,
before
yeah,
then, so,
Waiting
yeah.
for that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that'll be a
because
second.
I'm-
Like June.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
June, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking, pre-mosquito and pre-greenhead time.
Yeah, we mentioned that last time, I think. But at that point, we were looking at next week. I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, well, there's.
And after
we
you've
can
got
actually-
out, after the questionnaires are out, so it's going to be towards the end of June.
Well,
Yeah.
that's from wondering, what about the weekend of Juneteenth? I don't know if that's something that, why did people get off work?
Father's Day weekend,
Ah, right.
maybe the following 24th, 25th. Last weekend in June.
Thoughts?
I'm just thinking of no air conditioning or anything like that in the schoolhouse. I don't know if that would be a detriment.
It stays pretty cool. in
Yeah,
there,
does it?
actually.
Okay.
What time of the day are we thinking?
I don't know. What time do people do things? Are
How
there
about this time? If they,
this time? in the evening on a Saturday?
Oh, I don't know, yes.
Any thoughts?
Saturday at 3 makes more sense then. First of all, it'll be open because I'll sign up for that day. Because we're open on weekends from 1 to 3. So we would just stay open. I'd just stay. I'd volunteer for that day
Okay.
if it's on a Saturday. But don't do it between 1 and 3. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
that's,
that's our open.
yeah.
But after that, yeah, I don't think, if you start interfering with barbecuing, you're gonna lose audience, I think.
See, that's good
So
stuff.
it starts at 3, then they can leave and go to their barbecue and,
Okay. And is this something kind of a drop in, drop out? Is that what we'd envision for this, or with a set?
yeah, this is not a formal meeting.
No,
Like 3 to 5 or something like
Yeah,
that?
that's what I'm saying,
Open
like
3 to
couple
5?
hours, yeah.
And what day I
You
can't get
can't,
into my
I cannot be
calendar.
there, I work Saturdays, but.
Yeah, that's,
I'm in Boston on June 25th.
What date were you thinking?
I had proposed June 24th, I think,
Okay,
Saturday, June 24th.
okay.
But
That'll-
If
doesn't
needs
matter,
be, I
but,
could, but it's a long road. Okay, let's rethink this.
We could do it the Saturday of Father's Day weekend if people think that would be.
I wouldn't count on that.
I don't think
no,
that's a good,
I
I
wouldn't.
That's a long weekend for us. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
don't think that's.
And I would say
I would
that
say definitely not 4th of
next
July
week,
rules.
yeah, which puts us in,
Ay. Where's the summer going?
yeah, puts us in the second week of July already.
Because that's
July 1st.
the 10th, 11th is too soon.
Oh, comment. If it's raining on the 24th at 3 o'clock, you want a rain day Sunday?
I think we're rethinking the 24th.
Oh.
Because 3 of us can't be there.
Oh, okay, okay.
July 1st.
Can't do that weekend, that's just a bad idea. Especially because the 4th is Tuesday this year, so a lot of people have a 40 weekend, they're not gonna be around.
Oh, good point, yep.
Which, like Madison said, puts us at the 8th, 9th July.
Fine.
And that's why this process is nice and slow. So how does the July 8th date work in
Yep.
terms of schoolhouse?
Works for me.
Okay.
From 3 to 5, we said?
I'll sign up for Saturday then.
From 3 to 5?
Well, from 1 to 3 and 3 to 5.
Okay,
Then I'll just be there, I'll just keep the school open.
okay. So that means that I have to get that letter written ASAP, right? And we
we'll
have to get
also-
the survey going.
Yeah, we'll send them
ASAP.
that survey as well, all of
Okay.
the institutional.
I've got 30-inch by 6-foot fold tables. I've got 2 of those in there.
Oh, I think I.
And I've got some folding chairs. If that would make some sense, we could put it on the, actually, at that time of the day, we could put it on the east side of the schoolhouse, because that'll be in the shade, or under that big maple tree that's there.
That's greenhead season though.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Inside?
But if you have the door open, there won't be an inside.
That was my only thing,
Ah,
is the
bugs.
greenheads. Yeah, but the greenheads are
It's blackhead season right now.
fierce.
Black fly.
And the 1st is 4th of July weekend time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we said no.
Yeah.
it's not gonna work.
Well,
We haven't had
there's no law that says we can't have a couple of these.
Well, that's what we're
So
doing.
let's just go ahead and
Do
July
this-
8th,
Yeah.
Okay.
and
Wanna
if we
try
get
pick
bitten,
another
then
date
we
right now?
get bitten.
Tentatively?
No, it's too.
I'll bring my greenhead catcher across the street and put it out
I
next to
have
the
one
school.
of those.
You got one too,
I
we'll
think-
put 2 of them
Yeah,
out.
put 2 of
What's
them
a
out.
green one?
Because that
Oh,
keeps
it's
them
a-
away, that draws
yeah.
them away.
Yeah,
I think we'll go with this. We,
Okay.
you know, as time goes on, we can
Yeah, we have to do-
see how the initial survey done and response, and whether it really has generated a lot of activity.
Okay.
If it hasn't, then we will have to put in some more discussion groups.
Right,
But
and
if
we will
it-
continue with these
Which
meetings
we
too,
can,
right?
right, whereas if it has done its job, we won't need to.
Right, and then, you know, a month later from this, essentially, you know, a month and a half is Newbury Day, so,
Right,
In terms
yes.
Right,
which-
so we can have another
one.
another go.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Okay, so
Yep.
July 8th from 3 to 5 at the schoolhouse, an informal drop-in informational session, questions, discussion, whatever we'd like to
Yeah.
call it.
So,
That
Lon,
could be inside or outside.
can you advise the historic commission just so they know?
I'll let them know, yeah. They said we can use it anytime we want, so,
So
but I'll
we-
let them know when we're going to use it, that's fine.
Okay, well,
And then you're talking about Newbury Day also, right?
Yep.
Newbury Day.
Newbury Day.
yeah,
I'd love to
which might be in
see-
a couple locations if we can get the people to maybe
Yeah.
put one at
I-
SPL
Yeah, I don't know what's planned for the Lower Green
and maybe,
for that.
right.
We'd have to do some research on that before we
Yeah.
start including ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're gonna have the school open, so the historic commission is.
Madison said that she was going to contact the organizers
The
of
committee,
Newbury,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay, I missed that,
the Spencer Pierce Little Farm is sort of a hub,
right.
and she's in charge of, you know, the Newbury properties.
Oh,
So
okay.
she has an in.
Oh, so it might make sense to hold it there rather than the
Well,
school.
no, I was thinking
Oh,
of doing one, you know, Robin and I have volunteered, so I'll do one and Robin
Oh,
can do
okay.
another.
Sure.
So, you know, I mean,
Yep.
make ourselves available to the community.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also on that committee.
Oh, yay,
Oh, wow.
okay.
All right.
There we go. Contact me.
Okay.
Is it, it's,
If I,
this
may I
week-
make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Don't close your avenues off and
No.
spread out a little bit.
Yeah,
Anything that's going on, even in adjacent towns like Newburyport, if you can find a location to set up and spread the word that way, people are always looking to combine what they're doing in certain areas. So if you know, Yankee Homecoming coming up, Newburyport has, always invites other people in to spread the word about their own communities, their own businesses, and things of that. This coming weekend, for instance, is Springfest, but there's all kinds of people that go down, whether they're in the legal field or they're in home renovation, but they do allow you to set up and give the word out, and where we're just walking distance from those locations, it would be, you know, kind of beneficial. Because a
I'm
lot of
actually-
Newbury people will go to Newburyport to
Yeah.
visit these.
I'm actually going to respectfully disagree with you, because Yankee Homecoming is, you know, people from Connecticut and Canada, and, you know, and for us to be sort of spinning our wheels, we're really kind of focusing on just a small part of Newbury, and I think we're getting ahead of ourselves if we do that kind of thing. How does the committee feel? Is that just me, or? I
We need
think,
the
yeah.
input from.
Yankee
you guys
Homecoming
as
might be a
citizens
bit
more than
big.
anything.
I think that's a big
But
deal.
some of the
yeah.
other ones, I think, were, you know, worth looking into, yeah.
Smaller venues,
Yeah.
kind of more focused.
Another thing to look at, maybe Byfield. They have a lot of
Yeah,
little events
Byfield.
on Main Street
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the
Byfield
community
Days,
center,
yeah, yeah.
That's where we are.
yeah.
Right,
There'll be a big car show the day before Newbury Day.
Ooh,
In Byfield at Tony Letz's, down at the Snuff Mill.
oh,
So
yeah.
it has a very good attendance, and there are many, many people from the local area
Yeah.
that do attend it.
Yeah, that's great.
Want to educate them too on this and what we're doing, who we
Yeah,
are,
it's a
what's
townwide.
happening, because at some point, they're going to be,
Yeah, it's a
Voting on
townwide,
it.
townwide thing, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
you know, keeping too much in
Yeah.
old times.
Yeah.
Not good.
Right, okay.
This, let me get this or a table.
This weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
right?
Did we need to vote on any of the things that we've done so far?
Would we like to vote to approve the
Questionnaire? Survey?
with
So,
the
with the amendments,
Yes,
With the
yeah.
amendment.
Yeah.
So moved?
Seconded?
favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Cool, thank you. And then do we need to approve the date of the schoolhouse meeting? I don't know.
Approve the what?
The date of the schoolhouse meeting?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Not the vote, not with the vote. And this stuff here is pretty much the definitions, the facts.
At the
sheet.
FAQ sheet.
That's-
the
Yeah,
only
straight.
thing that I would like to probably take out of this, because I'd like to have it be expanded and then another section on the website, is the question about energy efficiency. I think, as Ellie mentioned, we should address it in a whole separate FAQ. as
The
we-
environmental impacts?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the efforts of making this a reality, Madison, do you and I want to kind of draft one of those for our next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably gonna come up.
Yeah, certainly, and it's an awesome opportunity, in my view, to really frame preservation in Newbury as supporting energy efficiency and not counter to it, especially
Right.
with climate action being such an important part. It's something I feel really strongly about making that a good stance.
Historic Commission's got a thing in front of them right now where someone must have put solar panels on a historic barn. And the question that was somebody mentioned, maybe not on the front, but maybe on the back, things like this.
And
But
low
still haven't made
level.
any decision on that yet.
And then just make sure that the barn can structurally
Right,
handle the
yeah, you
weight.
would not want to put them on my roof.
Yeah.
The roof is held up by
Yeah.
2x4s that are this far apart, yeah.
Oh dear.
That's the roof.
That's some of the problems. with
Somehow it's
historic
made it
buildings. Yeah.
300, 200 years, so.
Some of them are over-engineered, some of them are a little bit under-engineered.
But they're real life 2x4s too.
Yikes, yikes.
But if
Okay.
anybody has any edits to the FAQs or thinks there's something else that should be addressed. we
Is
can-
this on the thing, we could look at it
Yep.
and comment on it, Can we
Yep,
write on
it's
it?
just in a draft mode, so.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
good.
Which means you've got to get back pretty quickly.
Soon, because
Yeah.
I'll be trying to load that onto the website next week as well.
Right. So, this week. Will do?
It's Wednesday, but it just feels off.
Do we want to look at the action steps? That we're looking at the FAQ sheet and the action steps?
Yeah, I think we reviewed that minorly last time, but if there are, I cleaned them up a little bit. So if there's any additional clarifications or simplifications, and this is something that we will, under, my vision for then the website would be on the main page to have our contact information, right at the top, and then off on the right, the mission statement, purpose and goals that we wrote, or that Lon wrote, the FAQ sheet, the action steps, and then also at the end of that, maybe just the timeline of kind of, great, because those action steps have a checkbox next to them, so we can check it off as we go, so that people know roughly where we are in the system. But then also saying, all right, we will be aiming at this point for a town meeting of May 2025.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Just with everything, so in that case, that would just be to say, that's our goal. And then off on the left, I know the Historic Commission has a bunch of subfolders that you can go into, and that would be more information, one of which could be the MHC study committee process that we all have, so that there's more in depth in case people want to know more about what is each process, what does each step entail. And then also the maybe the energy efficiency FAQs, or what is an LHD?
Survey results eventually will.
Yeah,
Stuff
there we
like
go.
that.
Yeah, stuff like that over on the left, so.
And I think also we should include resources, like the demo delay law and other,
Similarly,
for somebody who's researching what we can do as a town to support historic preservation.
we should include all that info.
Yeah, okay.
And that can be an ongoing, anything that we think could be useful to constituents. We can put it on there.
Probably even put some historic pictures in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
some
be great.
resources.
Oh, yeah.
Some look why it's so pretty and special. What it used to look like.
Yes, yes,
Forgot to do that.
yes.
We were going to, I seem to remember in the past, we were going to, for the purposes of the meeting, lay out the mission statement
And the purpose and goal
and the purpose and goals.
at
what
the
we're all
beginning
Oh,
of
like
every
it does?
meeting, yeah.
Mhm.
So
do you
shall I
wanna-
do that
yeah,
now?
do that
Okay,
now.
I'll do that now. So the Lower Green Historic Study Committee. Okay, so our mission statement is, the duly appointed Newbury Lower Green Local Historic District Study Committee is responsible for conducting an investigation to determine the desirability and feasibility of establishing a local historic district inclusive of the Newbury Lower Green, considering the historic significance of all buildings, structures, features, sites, or surroundings that would be included in such proposed local historic district. The purpose and goal is to protect the historic Newbury Lower Green and the natural and built environment surrounding it for future generations to enjoy and experience the visual sense of the past of our town. A Lower Green Local Historic District will create neighborhood stabilization and community pride, and forever provide Newbury school children with a playing field and educational opportunities. The intent of this local historic district is to maintain and improve the settings of those buildings and places to encourage new designs compatible with existing buildings in the district. So that was the
Good.
mission statement and the purpose and goals.
Very good, thank you.
Added that to add to every agenda. So with the action steps, were there any then comments right off the bat, or is that something that you'd like to send? Because I know we had reviewed it in by large at the last meeting, but if there are any tweaks, we can certainly add those.
This would be to put on the website. Okay, yeah, I think it's good
Good.
as it stands.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I see that?
yes, certainly.
Okay. Next, additional, any other business? I've got one. I had someone who was confused by some of the headings and in our public correspondence, they did not mention Lower Green. And there was confusion that, oh, is this something we're doing with other areas, the Upper Green or whatever. So it's just to make sure in everything we put out, we refer to, I noticed that there are a couple of things here, just for clarification. And it came about because of the controversy over the Upper Green, which is not a historic district, but is on the historic register, and certain individuals thought that might be something that
Gotcha.
could be doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
upper and lower green. Yeah, sure.
that may be a whole separate event.
Okay.
Okay, just to put that in.
Is there any other additional discussion? That's the word. Anything else we want to discuss?
Well, we have discussed proposed district boundaries and non-contiguous monuments and sites. So I went down Cottage Road. Are we there or are we?
That's a different agenda?
Oh, I'm looking
Yeah,
at
yeah,
April
yeah.
12th.
Yeah.
I mean, we certainly can. The last
This
we
is-
left that was, did you take photos?
I did, and
That
I
was-
posted
okay,
them,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you
I saw
actually
that.
moved them.
I did.
Yeah, you moved them, which
The
I like.
photos.
I like that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
It was
the
bothering me,
photos.
but,
Yeah, that was good.
So that's wonderful. It was, it's much more purposeful than I thought it was, not having seen that monument before.
Yeah.
It looks like it is maintained.
It is maintained, so it's 15 feet from the road. It's 12 feet from a driveway on the side. And it's 9 inches in the back. It looks like it is maintained just in the back. There's nothing on the back, but there's like a little border there, and that's 9 inches, and then it goes into, someone's backyard.
So
or
9 inches
side
between
yard.
the back of the stone.
Back
and
of the stone, and like a little, there's like a little plastic kind of border. So that's 9 inches, and that's in the back.
Okay.
So what we're looking at is 15 feet from the road, straight on, 12 feet from the side of someone's driveway, and then in the back, there's just 9 inches. But there's nothing on the back.
And did you happen to take measurements of the monument itself?
I did not.
But what are those hedges? Are those part of it on each side?
They are sort of part of it. So there's like a little kind of a plastic or a rubber border
Yeah.
that's around it, and then the bushes on either side are kind of outside of it.
Okay.
But I assume they're part of it.
So
Do
you
you
say
know
it's
who
maintained.
maintains them?
Is this someone locally, or is this?
I bet it's the historic district that maintains that monument at the end of Cottage Road. You know, that landing place of the first settlers?
Because it's
I don't think
definitely,
we do.
they definitely get trimmed.
Yeah, they're
I-
trimmed, and
yeah,
they're
the-
little
the-
plantings.
The town probably does it. We don't,
Does
we
it?
don't have,
Yeah.
we don't have
Yeah.
anything to do with it.
Yeah.
The only thing that we now have responsibility now for that, for the Governor's Stone, whatever it's called, the
Oh, the
Father's
witch
Stone.
stone?
The
Witch
father's-
Stone,
Yeah,
yeah,
witch
that's
stone.
On
another
High
name for it.
Road.
That was
On
donated
Highland
to
Road.
the town, a piece of property, and the Historic Commission maintains it. That's the only thing we maintain it, I know of, well, the school. The town really maintains
Who
it.
would know that? Who would know?
I'll ask the DPW.
Yeah,
But who takes care of it, or,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Um,
That goes one step further in telling who owned that.
And the next item is, where are we on the narrative that will go into the study commission on the history of the area and why it's important? Remember, there were a lot of topics that came up, there's a Native American settlement on the hill and the area.
Yeah.
So we can start drafting.
So
What
if
will
someone
eventually-
starts, and even if it's quite a big thing at the moment, because ultimately if you look at the reports that other towns have put in, it does get condensed down, but if we have all the backup, because I can see there will be.
We're just updating the town plan too. We just did the historic district's input on it.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of text in there you could borrow from it. It would be, then you'd be consistent with what the town's.
That sounds great.
Right,
Yeah.
the facts. So that might be useful. I'm not sure what the status is. We turned our final comments in about 4 to 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it may be almost final draft now.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's obviously a huge overlap in information there that we would.
Yeah, it would make sense to draw from
I will
that.
start
I know we
drawing.
spent a
Okay,
lot of
so-
time
okay.
on that. Richard
You'll
did,
start
one of
drafting.
our members.
Is that?
Good.
Yeah, I see it, okay.
I'll start
I was wondering
drafting
why.
basically
I was
a
looking
Are we at
statement
this
of
yet?
significance.
Additional.
Okay, that sounds good to you.
Are we at additional business yet?
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I think, I had mentioned that I wanted to, there's things been going on with a lot of the committee meetings with people not having the opportunity to talk. And we were talking about maybe including on our agenda an opportunity for the public to speak either at the beginning or at the end, where it's formally in the
Yeah, public.
agenda.
Public
And-
comment
Or
section.
both places, we could have it both.
Yeah.
But, and then like we did today, if something comes up during the meeting, that's our discretion to bring
Right.
people into the conversation, but I think we should formally have a place for people to come in and and do it. And I don't know if we want a time limit on that or not.
Normally
We don't seem
there
to have
is
too
a
big a
discussion.
crowd here,
Yeah.
so I think we can pretty much let that go. If 30 people show up one day, we might want to do something.
Well, we might cut it off at the, 7 o'clock or maybe meet our,
Or-
something like that.
Or we could do that,
Yeah.
or 2 minutes or 5 minutes per person, or that's, but I think we should have in the agenda where that's gonna be, either the beginning, the end, or both. I always hate it when it's at the beginning, because you wanna make comments on what went on in the meeting.
Right, it should be,
Yeah.
it should be
I think
the
it should be-
final,
Yeah, but, yeah,
it should be the final item.
it should at least be the final item, yeah, if not both. Okay. Well, I don't know if we need to vote on that, but that's just a suggestion, I think.
No,
we
I
should
think that's
do
a
that.
great suggestion.
Yeah, I thought we had talked about
Yeah.
that, so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
We want to be as transparent as possible and
Yep.
as inviting as possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I got.
I have one more thing. We had talked about discussing the addresses of properties rather than, naming the this or that. And we have 2 properties that do not want to be included in the boundaries of the historic district. We have formally received comment from 277 High Road as not wanting to be included, and 2 Cottage Road as not wanting to be included. I'd like to, at this time, read an email I received from the owners of 2 Cottage Road. Hello, Joy. Since you serve on it, I thought I'd touch base with you regarding the LGHD efforts. Our property, which is known to the committee as number 24. So we had talked about all of these different numbers, but we're going by road, address of the property. As number 24 was identified as a proposed target for potential Lower Green Historic District property rights restrictions at your last meeting. This I neglected to read at our last meeting. This was dated in March. Our barn already has covenants on it. In addition, as you and some others on the committee know, we also have a state easement on our property. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm guessing none of the committee members' properties have easements or covenants associated with them, like governing what color the barn is, what color the doors can be, what color the roof can be, where they can make improvements on their properties, or third-party state officials being able to enter the premises with heavy equipment and start digging their yards up without prior notice to the owners. Well, we have all of those, which is absolutely a horrible fact. There are many properties actually with easements on them in the lower Green Historic District. Any further encumbrances will be detrimental to the value of our property, and we therefore do not wish and will resist any effort with great zeal at inclusion in the proposed Lower Green Historic District. We've resided in this town for almost 30 years, not far from the Upper Green. We've raised our children here and have many long-standing friendships with other residents. We're fully aware of what the Lower Green means to people and us, and would support protection of the schoolhouse, surrounding grass area, and the dirt road that surrounds the back side of it, but we will not permit any assault on our property rights. Although new but not complete yet, our property is in keeping with the historic character of this area, and we are quite capable of governing our actions without outside intervention. Thank you. And that is from the property owners of 2 Cottage Road. So I wanted to read that into the record to respect the property owners' desire not to have their property included, as well as the email that I read at the February meeting of 277 High Road not wanting to be included. So I wanted to read that into the record that these properties will not be included.
Understand? Okay, so we'll take all that on advisement.
And that's all I
Good.
have. Yep.
Okay, any more?
Shall we open for public comment, or is there anyone that would like to make a comment at this time? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Leslie Matthews, 111 Main Street. The suggestion on coming before the select board is excellent, and it may be also a good idea to make some kind of presentation to the planning board as well, as far as
Good idea. Yeah, that's a great idea.
what you're doing is it's for the betterment of the town of Newbury to keep its integrity intact, and it's well appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to make a comment.
Sure.
Certainly.
I am 277 High Road. So, as you know, 2.5 years renovating the house, saving it. Our whole life on the line, right? Still not finished. A lot to do. You know, when we first started this and we were invited to your house, you know, Robin, it was to save the Lower Green and the schoolhouse, which we were all for, and we are for. We had told you then we had just spent 25 years in a gated and guarded community in Georgia. Covenants, architectural review boards. There's good points and there's bad points. It doesn't make anyone a friendly neighbor. I'm going to say that. So, since we have told you we want to be removed, clearly our intentions, we've saved the house. We're going to continue to save the outer buildings. There's no question that we care about what happens with the whole neighborhood. We cannot, though, let someone govern what we're going to still do. I mean, that just seems outrageous. So, we've asked you to take us off the list. Are we officially off the list?
Off the list.
But you just said, Robin, you'll take it under advisement.
We're a study group, and we're here to present the whole study of the area to the select board. We're not here to make the rules. Indeed, a lot of the rules we're the preliminary area. As you can see, we haven't even actually formulated the area. This is still an idea, and we're taking all these comments under advisement, and we'll definitely make whatever adjustments we can within the framework of the historic area we're looking at, because we absolutely have sympathy with what you've already done and what you're going to do. There's no question about that. So I'm not sure that I can actually give affirmative answer, because I'm not even sure whether it's in our power at this moment, because this is a study forum, a study committee. We're not actually making the rules. We have to make a presentation ultimately in a couple of years' time, or whenever the time frame is up. And that will embody not just your actions, but every other person who's involved. So within the whole framework of it, absolutely all your comments you've just made and in the past, Joy, will be taken into account.
But even though you define yourself as a study group, you are moving throughout all your action items to a vote. So it's not...
Yes.
You are.
Yep.
So it's not just a study, it is to make it happen, it is to create it, and it is to bring it to its fruition. So, you know, you can say you're a study group, but you're moving to the end, which is to govern everyone's home around the green. And this is the thing, when you guys brought the person in from Boston, because I watched all of your minutes, she said, which was really fascinating, that in Cambridge alone, there were over 200, I think, that were just single, societies, because it was just a single home. So why don't you just put
Right.
one on yours,
Yeah.
put one on Joy's, put one on Lon's, and then protect the lower green. The upper green is protected, so it's not like you have to reinvent the wheel, and there's got to be hundreds of commons and greens. I grew up in Reading, one of the biggest commons in New England. There's all these folks that have already been protected. So it's not new, it's not reinventing the wheel, it can't be that difficult.
No,
So-
and I agree with what you're saying. I mean, one of the points that she did make is the one particular one where there are all these individual houses, I think Somerville, was grandfathered in a while back, and it is not their recommended route starting from scratch now, because it is complicated to do it. Not impossible, and I accept that. I mean, we're going to work around this because we want this to happen. So, and I'm sure there's a way we can get, through exemptions or whatever, your property in the way that you want it.
We want this to happen, but we want to respect your rights, I think is what you want to say.
Yeah,
We want to protect the area, but not at the expense of your rights or your wishes.
We would like to, I haven't been here, I lived here for 30 years, finally I've got to come home. It's the only house I've ever owned here. When I left, I still lived with my folks. So, again, 2.5 years of us, we've only even lived in the house for 6 months. It's been agony. And we listen to everyone stop by and give us, their recommendations and what we should and shouldn't do, and we get it. 25 years in a gated community, no problem, rolled right off our back. But now, this is real.
Yeah.
We cannot, and Lon had mentioned in one meeting, it didn't matter, you could grandfather us in later because we would be dead.
yes.
I
He did
think
say
that was
that.
an offhanded comment.
It is in the meetings,
Yeah.
the minutes, which is a really
I'll watch the video.
unbelievable
I'll watch
comment
the video.
to say in a public forum.
So what-
Devastating. He said within 35 years, Ray and I would be gone.
They-
We do hope Madison keeps the house and passes it on to her children for the next 300 years, and et cetera, et cetera. Clearly now after doing that, we would like to save every farmhouse if we could. So, again, it's been a bit disheartening, and, again, we're only halfway through the process, and, we don't want to be a part of it. We just don't. So I don't understand, why. Again, we have every intention for it to be perfect when it's finished, and there'll be no question of it being preserved. So,
Absolutely.
we don't want to be
And,
involved. And we would like to be, when we first got here too, everyone was so grateful, and the town was grateful, and now all of a sudden we're on the outs. We haven't even been here for 4 months, and now the stress and then the easement and having the state on the property and everything that went on behind our backs. We hadn't even moved in, and then the state is digging in our backyard, and it's still not finished. You see, it's been painful. We'd like to be happy there.
I would like you to be
Yeah.
happy
Yes.
there. We would all
Right.
like you to be happy.
It started
there.
out that way, and now we're the bad guy. We're on the outs, and all the notes that have gone on throughout for 6-7 months to all of Cottage Road about the pond and it drying up because of my cousin, and the fact that my cousin has moved in beside us, which is extraordinary because we thought we lost the barn forever, and now it's come back into my family,
Yeah,
which is extraordinary.
yeah.
So
Wonderful.
it's really remarkable that my cousin Russ and Bonnie have moved in beside us, and they love the barn. We put the covenants on it with Mark DePiero so that it would remain, because when we first bought it, it was still part of the deal. Believe me, we wept over losing it. So the fact that it is now back in the family and they love it, they're going to restore it, where before, after Mark sold it, the girl that was the potter that was 30 years old, we were like, damn, she's not going to care about that barn. So it's all a good thing. We want to be, again, I just got home after 4 months of being away. I was out weeding the worst thing in the world. And a neighbor stopped by again, and she's like, oh, yeah, I hear that, folks are still complaining about, your cousin's property. I'm like, what? Come on. 4 months I've been away. I'm like, well, what now? Another complaint to Peter. I'm like, to Peter? You see, when is it going to end?
Who's Peter?
Yeah, I don't.
Peter is the one that, the permit. Peter does the permits in Newbury.
Peter Burnett.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
yeah. When is it going to
Building
end?
inspector.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to say anything, I'll be quiet.
When does it end? When is it that? And then I had another guy stop yesterday too when I was reading and say, can we tour the house? You see what we go through. We are not a museum. We are not a historical, house. I said, I appreciate that, but no.
Yikes. Oh my
We
God.
still haven't even lived in it.
Wow.
So,
I want to say that, first of all, you and 2 Cottage Road have done a wonderful job at preserving, understanding what's important, and what's unique about the properties. And our intention is not to slam you with any, no, you can't put that air conditioner on, and no, you can't paint the house electric blue. That's not our intention at all. We totally respect that you already have covenants on the properties, that you get it. But that in terms of, what we're defining as the Lower Green Historic District, we want you to know that we respect what you're doing, what you and your family are doing, that we do not want to hinder you in any way, that you already have covenants on the property. I mean, we're not in fear that you're going to nuke the whole property, tear the house down and put up, something else. We want you to feel comfortable that your property will be outside of what we're trying to do. We want you to feel comfortable with that. And I'm not sure how this became kind of an adversarial thing, because I'm speaking for me now, I totally welcome you guys into the community. I mean, it's wonderful what you're doing, what you have done, what you intend to do. I love seeing the ponies in the backyard. I love all of that. But I want you to feel comfortable that we're not restricting your rights, and that we respect what you're saying and what you're doing, what you will do, what you have done. We totally respect that. We respect your rights as a property owner. And words are failing me right now, but Deb, I really want you to know it is not our intention to restrict you.
For future, and for the future ongoing restoration or development plans.
and exactly, and us and, Russ and Bonnie, we are the
Yeah.
only ones around the green that are still under heavy renovation. So
Right.
you can see our concern. We sort of
Absolutely,
stand,
that's
Yeah.
absolutely
So-
understandable.
right, we
and
stand,
respect
we stand
that.
alone, and it's a long road. I mean, the two of us still have a long road, so I think, we're trying to make everyone proud of the house, and to know that it, for both of our properties, how much it means to us, obviously. We could have bought anywhere,
Anywhere.
Yes.
anywhere, we could have bought anywhere.
You've done a great job.
And
I mean,
you-
no question
Well,
about
and
it.
one of the reasons really, Robin, why we bought in Newbury and not in Newburyport or these other places is because there were no covenants, just coming from, where we were in Georgia. So that was huge. I mean, again, we preserved it inside
You
and out.
saved it.
We
You
did.
saved it.
We did.
You
and,
saved it.
So, again, I just wanted to be out there that we would like to be, again, happy in the hood, and,
I'm
we
sorry
don't want to
that
be,
you
we don't
feel-
want to be a part of what you guys are doing. We don't,
I'm sorry that you feel that you're standing alone, because I stand with you. And I will
I appreciate
stand by
that,
you,
as our
and I
neighbor,
will,
you know, as
I will,
our only neighbor other than my cousin.
I will stand by you and support you in what you're doing. And I want you to know that as a committee, we certainly respect your wishes and what you're doing for both you and 2 Cottage Road.
We appreciate that very much. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deb.
All right, thanks.
And we appreciate your comments.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you, and you're welcome to every meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Very good. Okay, all duly noted. Right. Any other business?
Can I just, yeah, let's just make sure. So, what we're looking at is, for the mediums, we're looking at, or media, I should say, website, address, mailings. Are we still doing mailings to people?
Everyone
in the
in-
neighborhood?
Or
Or hanging them on the door.
Hanging them on the door, public events, and I'll write a newspaper article. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And then I'll talk to the planning board too, then I'll do the
Yeah, that's
select board
good.
and the
Yeah.
planning board.
That sounds
That's
good.
very
Same-
good.
Same
Get on
talking
the agenda.
points.
Yeah. And then Madison will look at contacting the Newbury Day people to get 2 tables, one at SPL and the other,
Yep.
say, at the Lower Green. And Robin and I can figure out,
Sort
you know,
it.
we will sort that out.
Yep.
Next meeting that we have, well, next, like, open house, informal session is July the 8th, 3 to 5, which is a Saturday. Okay, and now we're at next meeting date for this committee?
Yeah, that was,
And then I will also
Bear
draft
in mind.
any kind of energy efficiency
Oh, yes,
FAQs,
as will I.
and we will start on the process of drafting a statement of significance and history of the Lower Green.
Perfect.
so where are we, a month's time?
I like putting it a little bit more than 4 weeks out. If you
Yeah,
guys
because
are
you've
okay
got
with
all
that.
the other
It just
things.
seems a lot of stuff to be.
But
And summer's a
you've got
busy
July
time.
8th is the
2.
schoolhouse thing. so
Yeah, so that's
we
the
either do-
informal session.
We either do it,
The,
probably just before the July 8th might be quite good.
Another meeting before the July 8th?
Or do
this
we-
kind of meeting.
Another one, do you think?
Well,
Didn't we
that's
say
not-
that we
that's
weren't
not-
available?
Yeah.
Oops.
That was the whole thing, that we weren't available?
So that weekend is not available because it's July 4th,
Yeah.
which is why, because that's
Or it'll
that
have to be
schoolhouse
after.
meeting where
Or maybe
it's intended for a
afterwards,
weekend.
Then we can have a post-mortem. of the-
Right, I think after might be
Probably.
nice.
After? Okay.
Yeah.
So around the week of the 10th?
Yeah,
For which month?
July.
That's, we're not gonna have a June meeting then?
Sounds like not. We
Okay.
are just about out of June anyway, so.
And the 10th, will be our next meeting, July 10th?
Well,
you
no,
have to.
we have to
check
look at the calendar,
calendar
but,
on
Oh.
availability.
yeah.
Oh, so, okay,
Good. She's looking now.
okay. Oh, okay. I'm not available on the 13th.
That's a Thursday, okay.
That's, well, the Historic Commission meets in the evening.
Monday the 10th would be, or Tuesday the 11th.
Is it-
Mondays didn't work for you for a while, Joy, is that still?
Mondays are fine for me.
Okay, maybe I'm mistaken, but there was a reason we weren't doing Mondays at one point.
Isn't it,
Oh, there
When
might be
does
Isn't
the
something
there
on
a
the calendar.
select board
That's
have
what I'm checking
it's
now, is
every
the calendar.
Tuesday?
that's every,
Tuesdays.
So.
yeah,
forget
not every
The
Tuesday.
second
Second
and
Tuesday.
fourth.
July, that week right now, yeah, Tuesday's the select board and Thursday's something during the day, but
Historic Commission.
no, veterans
Well, not
office
here,
hours is that day, during the day at 11:30. So, looks like Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday that week. But not Thursday, because Thursday doesn't work for you. All right, Monday or Wednesday, 10th or the 12th?
10th
Either
would
one.
be
Either
much
one
better
is
for me.
fine for me.
10th?
10?
If possible.
10th, fine.
And what time?
5:30?
5:30.
Okay, let me write that
I'll
down.
let Jan know.
Yeah,
So what was that? 10?
She didn't know there was a
July the
meeting
10th
tonight.
at 5:30.
That will be right after that.
So, shall we have the questionnaire at the schoolhouse?
Definitely,
Okay, all right. So copies of the survey,
yeah.
okay. So if you can put that on, in the Dropbox, I can print out a bunch.
It is in there.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, good. With the updates that we made.
Yep,
Okay,
and that will be
perfect.
done by the end of next week by the time it's uploaded.
Wonderful.
So here's just another comment on the survey. And I've got an A-frame that we could have something printed that could be sitting out by the schoolhouse for Joy when she's there for the open house and for the town, whatever it is, yeah. If we had a QR code on that, so if whenever you get that, then maybe distribute that
We haven't,
to us.
I guess I can do that.
Yeah, no reason to get it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we can use it on everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
Um,
when they fill this
Yeah,
out,
that's
we have to type it in.
Yeah, that's
When
good.
they do monkey survey on the QR code, we don't
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, that's
It
good.
goes into a database.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And we can do quick looks off of the monkey survey too, so we can look at it every month or whatever we want to do and see where it's headed. And we might find out that we need to focus more on Byfield or Plum Island if we're not getting comments. That was the useful thing for me with the Merrimack. I found out that in New Hampshire, some of the cities weren't responding, so we got a hold of the chambers and we got a hold of the newspapers and made a push to get more from that. You can see, you can look at it, and you can download the results anytime. Just log on and there they are. Yeah.
Okay, I move to
Okay.
adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in
Okay,
favour?
aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming.